Good evening, Shraddha. How are you, Shraddha? Good evening, everyone. So, I gave you homework yesterday. Did anyone completed their homework? Okay, Shraddha, you completed your homework. What about others? So, this was your homework yesterday, these two questions. So, first of all, tell me about this question. Let me know in the chat box at what program you wrote. This was your homework. I'm waiting for your answers. Shraddha, what about you? So, nobody performed these two questions? Manajay and Akshita, very good. So Manajay and Akshita, Adnan, okay, let me know what program did you write for this question. Very good, Adnan. Very good, Manajay. Okay, very good. I'm glad that you did your homework. Very good, Himani. Very good, Pallavi. Very good, Akshita. Okay, Manajay. No problem. I'm glad that you did your homework. For other students who didn't do your homework, so let me show you how you will print even numbers using the for loop and using this modulus operator. Very good, Savleen. Savleen, are you facing any issues for previous lectures? Okay, very good, Savleen. So I will just write the program for other students. Okay. So this was the question that you had to write a program to print even numbers using the for loop. So yesterday we learned about the function range. So first of all, you will write the keyword for. Anything you write after this keyword, it becomes a variable. So if I write I, it is a variable. So we will use the function range here. Now I will choose the number, the starting number 1 and the ending number 11. So we remember that here the ending number, it is not included. So at the end we add colon, press enter. So we have to use this modulus operator. Now, how will I print even numbers? So we know the basic mathematics that anything, any number which is divided by 2, the remainder is 0. So that is what this modulus operator is about, that it tells us about the remainder. So if the remainder is 0 and it is divided by 2, that is the remainder 0, that means the number is even. So this is how we can write this program. So here I will use the if keyword to make the conditional statement that if I, the variable I, now here in the first loop, the value of this variable I, it will be 1. So if 1 divided by 2, that means modulus 2 is equal to 0. So if this condition is true, in that case, print I. So if 1 divided by 2 and the remainder, so this modulus operator, it tells us the remainder. So if this division gives us the remainder 0 and here 0 is equal to the right hand side 0, that means this condition is true. So Python will print us that number. Okay, so let's run this program. So here we are seeing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So these are all the even numbers. Now tell me, if I want to print odd numbers, what changes will I make in this program? Manaji, Savleen, Pallavi, Akshita, Anhanan, tell me if I want to print odd numbers now. So what changes will I make here? Very good, Akshita. Not equal to 0. So here I will just write not equal to 0. So if the remainder is not 0, that means the number is odd, right? So let's run this program. So here now we are seeing all the odd numbers. Okay, so this was your homework for the second question. Now tell me, we were on this program yesterday. Now, what is the meaning of this program? How is this program working? Now, tell me about this. Who will explain this program? How is this program working? How will this program tell us whether this DNA is valid or not? Who will explain? Okay, so first of all, let's read Savleen's answer. Okay, very good, Savleen. Manaji has written the answer. Okay, very good, Manaji. Akshita, Pallavi, what about you? Adnan, what about you? Okay, very good, Akshita. Okay, so here yesterday we wrote this program because we wanted to check whether this DNA sequence is valid or not. So here we already understand the meaning of this keyword in means inside this variable. So this is just the opposite that I have written here, combining these two keywords. So in the first loop, the value of this variable will be a, right? Now left hand side we have A, and here we have written whether A is present here or not. So A is present here, right? On the left hand side we have A, on the right hand side we have A, that means it is equal to, left hand side is equal to right hand side, but in the middle we have written not in. That means this condition becomes false. So it is the same meaning if I write not equal to, right? Here we have A, right side we have A, that means left hand side is equal to right hand side, but because of this the condition becomes false because it is saying it is not equal, left hand side is not equal to right hand side. So that is why this condition becomes false, and if this condition is false, Python will not execute this code, Python will just skip this code, right? So this is the same meaning, not in. And then in the second loop, the value of this variable is t. So left hand side is equal to right hand side because we have t present here. But because of this, the condition again has become false. So if the condition is false, Python will not execute this code. Then here in this another loop, when the value of this variable nucleotide, it becomes x. Now in this loop, the value of this variable is x. Now the x is not present in this string. That means the condition here is true. Right? Now the condition has become true because the x is not present in this. So here the condition becomes true. That means now the Python will execute this code. And this is how we see that this DNA sequence is not valid. Okay, so this is an invalid DNA sequence. Okay, so let's continue with our today's session. Today we will learn about while loop. Okay, let's just create new file. Let's write day9.py. So here till now we have learned about the for loop, and for loop is very much useful when we know how many times we want to repeat something. So for example, we want to print numbers from 1 to 10, we want to print every DNA nucleotide, we want to print every gene in a list. So in all of these examples, we already know how many times the loop will run, and that is where we use the for loop. Now, what if we don't know how many times the loop should repeat? Now, we don't know the answer how many times the loop should repeat. So, that is where we use the while loop. So, let me give you one example. So, for example, there is one user who is entering his password. Now, here in the first attempt, he has written an incorrect password. Now, if he has written an incorrect password, does that mean the program should stop? Does that mean the program should not ask him again to enter his password again? Right? We don't want that program to stop again. We want that program to ask the user again to write the correct password. Now here in this example, we don't know how many times the user will enter the password. For example, the user enters the password 5 times incorrectly. He enters the password 10 times incorrectly. So we don't know how many attempts the user is going to make. Are you understanding the point? That means we don't know how many times the loop should repeat. So that is where we are going to use the while loop. So here, what is the definition of this while loop? So this while loop, it repeats a block of code as long as the given condition is true. Okay, so what is while loop? A while loop means a while loop repeats a block of code as long as the given condition is true. Or I can say the opposite, that a while loop, it should continues running until the condition becomes false. So let's come back to that user example again. Now, for example, the user, it is still entering incorrect password and the program is still asking the user again and again to write the perfect code, means to write the correct code. So what is happening here? The condition is still false because the user is still entering the incorrect password. So here, what is the meaning of the while loop? That it should repeat a block of code as long as the given condition is true. So if at the end the user enters the correct password, the condition, it has become changed. The condition has changed here. So can I say the condition has become true at the end? That the user entered the correct password. So the condition is now true, and that is where the while loop will stop. So we will see an example. So let's see an example first of all. So first of all, let's start with the basic example of the while loop. So let's create a variable count and let's assign it a value 1. Now to create a while loop, we write the while keyword first. Just like we write the for keyword to make the for loop, in the same way, first of all, we will write the while keyword to create a while loop. Now here I am writing while the value of this variable count is less than and equal to 5. Okay, this is the condition that we have written for the while loop, that while the value of this variable count is less than or equal to 5, till then the Python should print the value of the variable count. Okay, so Akshata, you tell me, is this program complete? Is this program complete? Is this correct program? Okay, so here we understand the syntax, right? How to create a while loop. So here, what's the value of this variable count? It is 1, right? Now 1 here, it is less than 5. That means the condition is true. So if the condition is true, Python will print count, right? Do we understand till here? Okay, so we understand till here. And what is the definition of this while loop? That it will repeat a block of code as long as the given condition is true. So here the given condition is true. The value of this variable count, it is less than 5. That means Python will print the value 1, right? So in the output, we will see the value 1. Now here, can you tell me that do you understand that this program, it will never stop? Because here, what is the definition of the while loop? That it will repeat a block of code as long as the given condition is true. And here the condition is true. We have not written any condition that makes this program false, means that makes this condition false. That means till eternity, this program, this condition will be true. The value of 1 will always be less than 5. The condition will always remain true. So can I say that this program will never stop running? Do we understand here what I'm trying to say? That this program, it will never stop running. So should I run this program? Should we see the output? Okay, let's click run. So here, can you see that the program is still running? It is continuously printing me 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 until my program will crash. Okay, at the end, my program will crash because it is still continuously running. So here, either you can, here, let's see, here can you see this here? The program is still running. Can we see the Python line that comes here? We are not seeing that Python line here, right? So this program here, it is continuously running. So this is an infinite program. Okay, and why is that? Because here, this program, this condition is true. So this while loop, what it does, it will keep on running until the condition becomes false. Now here in this program, the value of this count, it will always remain 1. So what we need to do, we need to change the value of this variable, right? So if the value of this variable becomes 2, that means it is less than 5. So Python will print us 2. When the value of this variable becomes 3, it is still less than 5. That means Python will print 3, correct? Now, when the value of this variable count, it will become 6. So that means 6, it is not less than 5. That means the condition is false now. So that means this while loop will stop, right? So this is what we need to do now. We need to write something here that makes this condition false. So here, if I write count plus equal to 1. So we already understand this operator. So here what will happen in the loop number 1? The value of count is 0. It is less than 5. Condition is true. Python will print the value, right? And then Python will execute this line of code. Okay. And here what I have written here? Count plus equal to 1 means 0 plus 1. So we will see 1. That means now the value of this count has been updated to 1. Now what is the value of this variable? It is 1 less than 5. Python will print 1. Then here we are updating the value of this variable. So 1, the value of this count is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So here we have executed, means we have updated the variable. In the same case, for example, now the value is 5. Okay, so here what is the condition? Condition is still true because 5 is equal to 5. We have used this equal to operator. Python will still execute 5 here from print statement, and here we will be doing 5 plus 1 and it will be 6. Now here the condition will become false. So do we understand how to stop yourself to create an infinite loop? Okay. So here let's run this program. Let's give the value 1. Let's run it. So here we are seeing, can we see this Python line? That means our program has stopped. So here in the output, what are we seeing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here the condition become false at when the value of this variable becomes 6. So the condition became false and here the loop has stopped. Okay. Now in the same way, for example, I want to print 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we can do that as well. So here let's just give the value 5 and here let's just write a new program. So let's comment this one out. Let's create another variable, number. Let's assign the value 5. Here, first of all, let's write the keyword while. Let's use the variable number and here I am writing greater than and equal to 1. Okay, add colon because I want to print 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that is why I have used equal to 1. So here, now what we will do, we will write the print statement to print number and here we have to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That means I have to do minus, means 5 minus 1, it will be 4. Now the value of this variable is now 4. Then 4 minus 1, it is 3. So now we have updated the value of this variable to 3. In the same way, we will just do subtraction. So here, instead of writing plus equal to 1, I will write minus equal to 1. Okay. So here let's write number, the variable minus equal to 1. So do we understand this program? Do we have any confusion? Let's run it. So here we are saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So are we clear with this? Do we have any confusion? So do we understand the difference between while loop and the for loop? In the for loop, we know that how many times that the program is going to run, but in the while loop, we don't know, right? So here we just saw the example here when we created the infinite loop. So the condition has to be false in order for while loop to stop. Okay, so let's see one more example. So here, let's make a variable DNA. Let's write ATGC. Okay, so here, what I want to do, I want to print A, then T, then G, then C. The same thing that we did yesterday in the first example. That first, I want to print A, then I want to print T, then I want to print G, and then C. Do we remember that we performed this using the for loop yesterday? But today we have to do this using the while loop. So can you think how you will write the while loop to print the same output? But instead, you are using the while loop today, not for loop. So can you think of anything? How will you be able to write the program? First of all, we write the while keyword, right? And whatever we write after this keyword will become a variable. So let's make a variable index. Here I'm giving you this hint. Index. This hint I'm giving you here. Let me know if you are able to write the program, if you are able to think something, how you will tackle this, because you know how to use the for loop to print A, then T, then G, then C. But with while loop, Shifa, while DNA is not equal to ATGC, then how will you print A, then T, then G, and then C? And here our variable is this. I'm using this variable index. Okay, so let me show you. Here, if I write, we understand here that we have to give a condition here. This thing we understand about the while loop, that the while loop will run as long as the condition is true. So we have to write something that makes the condition false. So that is where I gave you the index hint. So if I write here less than length of DNA and at the end we add colon. Okay, I forgot to make this variable index here. So here I'm making this variable index. Okay, so this was only in the for loop, that anything you write after the for loop, it becomes a variable. So that's not the case with the while loop. So first of all, you have to write the keyword while loop and then you have to write some condition. So here, what I did, first of all, we created this variable DNA and here I created another variable index and I assigned it a value 0. So let's understand how we can do it. So here I have written the value of index is less than the length of DNA. So first of all, what is the value of this variable? It is 0, right? And what is the length of this DNA? It is 4. Correct? Do we understand this length function? This function will return the length of the value inside this variable. So here 1, 2, 3, 4. So the length of the variable DNA, it is 4. So here on the left side we have 0, on the right side we have 4. That means the condition is true. So if the condition is true, in that case, Python will print me DNA and here I'm writing index. And then here we have to update this variable. First of all, let me write it, then I will explain. Plus equal to 1. First of all, I want you to try to understand this program. Let me know if you are able to understand this program. I will explain it obviously, but first of all, try it yourself. How this while loop is running. We already understand this line from this example here, that we are updating this variable. So let me know, are you able to understand how this program is working? Okay, so let me just explain. Okay, Parth, very good. So here what we did, we created two variables because what I wanted to do, I wanted to print A, then T, then G and then C, just like we did with the for loop. But we can't use for loop here, we have to write this program using the while loop. So what I did, I created another variable index and I assigned it the value 0. Then here I wrote the while keyword and then I wrote this condition that the value of this variable index should be less than the length of this variable DNA. So currently, what is the value of this index? It is 0. Length of DNA is 4. So 0 is less than 4. The condition is true. So if the condition is true, Python will execute this line of code. And what is this code saying? DNA, and here what is the value of the index? It is 0. So we remember how we write index. We write it like this, DNA, then square brackets and then 0. So indirectly, what am I doing here? By writing the variable index, I am giving the value 0. That I want to print what is on DNA index number 0. So here on the index number 0, we have A. That means the Python will first of all print me A. And then what we have to do, we have to update this variable, because if we do not update this variable, this condition will always remain true, right? The index will always remain 0. The program will not move forward. So by writing this line of code that the index our variable, what are we doing? Its value is 0. So we are doing 0 plus 1. Now in the next loop, the value of this index is 1. So now here, left hand side we have 1, right hand side we have still 4. So 1 is less than 4. The condition is true. Python will execute it. Now this time the value of this index is 1. And now on index number 1, what we have? We have T. So here, what will Python print us? It will print us the character on index number 1. And then we are updating this variable 1 plus 1, it become true, means it become 2. Okay, and here it will run it till we have 4. Okay, now here 4 is not less than 4, is it? We have left hand side 4. So here we have 0, 1, 2, 3. So till 3, Python will print us ATGC line by line. But when the value of this index becomes 4, so 4 is not less than 4. It is equal to 4, but it is not less than 4. That is why we will not be using this equal to operator here. So here the condition has become false. That means the while loop is ended. Okay, so let's give the index 0 again. Let's run this program. So here we are seeing ATGC, the same output that we printed using the for loop yesterday, we did it using the while loop today. So are we clear how we are using the while loop? Okay, very good everyone. So the example that I gave you, the user that is typing the password incorrectly, and here in that program we are using that while loop. So let me show you how that is working. So first of all, what I will be doing, I will be creating a variable password. And here, what is this? Tell me, what is this? What is it? Let me know. Can I say this is an empty string? Very good, Pallavi. So what is this? This is an empty string. So what am I doing here? I am storing an empty string inside this variable. So let's see how can we write this program. So first of all, what we have to do? We have to use the while keyword. Now what we have to do? We have to write a condition that at the end becomes false. So here, if I write password is not equal to, now let's write any password. For example, the user can enter many things. So let's give the password Python, that the password is Python. Okay, add colon, press enter, and here I'm going to write password is equal to, I'm going to use the input because the user will be writing. So here let's write the prompt, enter your password, and then we will print access granted. So this program is very small. Let me know if you are able to crack it, how it is working. Let me know who will explain how this program is working. We already understand this first line, I think, that here what is the value of this variable? It is an empty string and it is not equal to Python, right? That means the condition is true. This empty string, even if I write 1 here, even if I write anything, right, it is still not equal to Python. That means the condition is true here. So do we understand that the condition is true here? We will also understand why we created an empty string. But here, do we understand how the condition is false here? I mean true here. Here, left hand side is not equal to right hand side. So the condition is true. And if the condition is true, Python will execute this line of code. So here we already understand the input function, that the input asks the user to enter the value, and we have written it inside this variable. That means we are updating the variable. Now the value of this variable, it is no more an empty string, it is this enter your password, right? So here, when the user will enter the correct password, and what is the correct password? It is Python. So here the value of this variable from here, so when the user will enter Python, the value will get stored inside this variable. Now the variable got updated with Python. Now what is the value here? It is Python. Left hand side we have Python, right hand side we have Python. That means the condition becomes false, because left hand side is equal to right hand side this time, and we have used this operator, so the condition has become false. And when the condition becomes false, the while loop will stop. So here, let's click run. And one more thing, when the condition will become false, the while loop, it will stop. Then the Python will come on to line number 33 and it will print access granted. Okay, so here let's run this again. So I'm running this program, and here we have enter your password. So first of all, the value of this variable is an empty string. That means left hand side is not equal to right hand side. Condition is true, and that is where Python executed this code. So let's write, for example, let's write Java. Okay, so it is not the correct password. Now what is the value of this variable now? It is Java. Left hand side still not equal to right hand side. That means the condition is true. So here what I will be seeing this. Enter your password again. So let's write ABC. So here what is happening here? The while loop, it will keep on executing this code, enter your password, until the user enters the correct password. So here let's write Python. So now Python is the correct password. So left hand side is now equal to right hand side. So because of this operator, the condition has become false. So Python now will print us access granted. Press enter. So here we are seeing access granted. So I showed you this example of the password here because this is the same program that you will apply to validate a DNA sequence. So here, let me show you how are we going to apply this same program. Okay, so first of all, let me explain. So for example, you are creating a DNA analysis program. So this is the same mini project that I have shared with you. So here in this program, what your program should do, it should accept a DNA sequence only if it contains 4 or more than 4 nucleotides. So if the user enters less than 4 nucleotides, that means the program will ask the user to enter the DNA sequence again. The same thing, the same program that we wrote here. Okay, so let's make a variable DNA. Let's assign it a value which is an empty string. Let's write while, and here I will be using while the length of DNA is less than 4. Add colon, press enter. Let's write the variable because we have to update this variable the same way we did here. Let's use the function input. Let's write the prompt, enter DNA sequence, and then what we will do, we will just print if the condition is true. So while loop will end and Python will come on to line number 42. And here let's write valid DNA sequence. So who will explain what is the meaning of this line of code here? Because we already understand this is the same program that we have written here. The only difference here. Here is the only difference. So who will explain how is this working? Yes, Sayali. Here, what we understood? We understood here that we have used this operator not equal to, right? So for example, the value of this password is 1. If it is an empty string, it is an empty list, whatever it is, the left hand side is not equal to right hand side. That means the condition is true. That means the user did not enter the correct password, which is Python. So here, if the condition is true, the Python will execute this code, the input function, enter your password again. So when the user will enter Python, so left hand side becomes equal to right hand side, right? But because of this operator, what this operator says, that left hand side is not equal to right hand side. But here the value of this variable password is now Python. That means left hand side is equal to right hand side. So this condition becomes false. So here, if left hand side is equal to right hand side, in that case we use this operator, right? But here we have written this operator. So at the end, the condition becomes false. So here the while loop will stop and Python will print access granted. So this is the same program here. So Sayali, let me know if you're able to understand this line of code, the what condition we have provided here. By writing this program, what am I trying to do? That I don't want the user to enter a DNA sequence which is less than 4. That means ATC or AT, right? So this is what we are trying to say. So if the length of this variable DNA is less than 4, that means this condition is true. So Python will execute this line of code and the user, until the user enter the length which is more than 4. So here we have used this function length. It will return the number, right? So first of all, let's run this program. So here the condition was true because the length was less than 4. It was nothing, right? Here the value of this DNA is nothing. So that considered as less than 4. So Python executed this line of code. So here let's write the DNA ATG. Now what is the length of this? It is 1, 2, 3. So here the value of this variable DNA, it is ATG, and we have called this length function upon this variable. Now here it is returning us 3. So 3 is less than 4. That means the condition is still true. So Python will again run this code. So press enter. So here we are seeing enter DNA sequence. Let's write 80, press enter. So the length is 2, which is less than 4. Condition is true, which is what we don't want. We don't want the user to write a DNA sequence whose length is less than 4. Now here, if I write ATGC, now you tell me, will Python print valid DNA sequence or will I see enter DNA sequence again? Tell me what will be the output again. Okay, very good Pallavi, very good Path, very good Akshita. So here let's press enter. So what are we seeing? We are seeing valid DNA sequence, and why is that? Why did Python print me valid DNA sequence? Who will explain? Who will explain this output? Let's run this program again. Let's write ATGC again. So here this length is 1, 2, 3, 4. Press enter, valid DNA sequence. So who will explain this? Okay, very good, Akshat. What about others? I'm just tricking you here. The answer is in front of you. Very good, manager. Your answer is correct. So here, what we did here, we entered ATGC, right? And here, what is the meaning? The length is 4. Now here, let's come back to this one again. ATG. So here the length is 3, right? Here the length is 3. So length is 3. So here it is less than 4. Condition is true. So Python executed this, right? So here when we wrote ATGC, so here the length is 4. 4 is not less than 4. The condition became false. That means what I wanted the user that he can enter the DNA sequence which length is 4 or more than 4. Are we getting the point here? So here the length of this DNA sequence is 4 and 4 is not less than 4. That means the condition became false. And that is where the while loop ended and Python printed us valid DNA sequence. So do we understand the while loop now? So here the main difference to remember between a for loop and a while loop is that a for loop is used when we know how many times the loop should run, and this while loop, when we use this while loop when we want the loop to continue until the condition becomes false. So this is the main difference between a for loop and a while loop. Okay, so this was all about today's session of the while loop. So I have provided you the mini project, all the guidelines, what is the project about, how you have to do the project, all the step-by-step process. Every help is available there in that document. Okay, so try to write the code on your own. Don't take help of the AI. First of all, if you need that, you need to take help from the AI to write the code, but firstly try to write it on your own. So that is how you will be able to improve. Okay, so first of all, try it with yourself. If you still feel like you can't, then take the help of the AI, or then you can also text me as well. Are we clear with the project? So all the submission details that you have to submit only one Python file because you will be writing only a single program. And you can also upload this program on your GitHub or LinkedIn because it is a DNA sequence analyzer. So what you have written, what you have learned till now, it is all including that. All the topics are included in that project. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can text me or you can text in the group. Okay, that's it. Any questions? Okay, everyone, then you may leave the class. Have a good evening. Yes, tomorrow is holiday. There is no class tomorrow.